What's up, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of Casters of Horror. I'm Chris Mass.
I'm Shane, and I'm old enough to know what a video cassette is. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, we checked out a VHS Beyond this week.
VHS. I have no idea what that... Oh, VHS. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, VHS Beyond. This is the newest iteration of the VHS series. This one came out just recently in 2024. I believe it is a Shudder exclusive. At least that's where we checked it out.
Yep,
Oh my word, this is an anthology, so we've got all sorts of writers and directors to go through, so we're going to go down these real quick. We got the segment Stork, which was written and directed by Jordan Downey and Kevin Stewart. We've also got Dream Girl, who was written by Evan Dixon and written and directed by Virat Pal. We've got Fur Babies, written by the brothers team of Christian Long and Justin Long. Yes, that Justin Long.
Really? I did not even realize that.
Yes, that Justin Long. We've got the segment Live and Let Dive, written by and directed by Justin Martinez. Let's see. And also Benjamin Turner on Live and Let Dive. I don't want to leave him out. And then we've got Stowaway, written and directed by Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel.
Yeah.
Directed by Kate Siegel on that. The husband and wife team coming together to do what was actually, I thought, the best segment out of the whole thing. But anyway, we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Sure.
This, again, if you guys have seen any of the VHS films, they are a found footage anthology. They go through different various this one was about more so about aliens than anything else, or extraterrestrials.
Other than one really arguably misplaced segment, the whole point of this one was aliens.
Yes, written and directed by Justin Long and Christian Long.
Yep.
And I'm going, what did this have to do with anything on the other one? And they're like, Justin Long's doing it, just let him go.
Yeah.
Let him cook, man. Let him cook. So, but yeah, this one, Shane had brought to my attention. He was checking it out and he's like, we should do this one for the show. And I'm like, we don't have anything else going on this week. Why not?
Yeah.
So, we decided to, pull this one up, and, I had heard several good things about this one, recently. And I was like, you know what, might as well. So,
and I feel like it's been a bit since we've done an anthology collection.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, what was the last one? Satanic Hispanics?
Maybe.
I'm thinking it was.
Yeah.
So,
it might have been.
Yeah. Anyway, if you guys haven't checked out any of these, again, like I said, it is an anthology series. These are found footage, generally having to do with video cassettes that were found. And then people were like, this is what happened on these video cassettes, and then people died. Yeah. And then this is how we explain the supernatural or the extraterrestrials and all this sort of stuff.
And usually in some cases, don't think too hard about how you're actually able to view this one.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's fine.
If you squint really hard, you might see something. Which is what I tell my wife in bed. Anyway, so Shane, you brought this one to the table. I'm going to let you, believe it or not, I'm going to let you start on this one.
Oh, okay.
So have you seen any of the original or any of the other VHS? Was this your first foray?
No, I have been vaguely aware of these collections. Mm-hmm. Although they didn't actually come to my attention until there was already like 4 of them out, I think.
Yeah.
But this was the first one I had ever actually sat down to watch. So
okay,
this is my first foray into the VHS series. I hear there are ups and downs, as far as the collections as a whole. I don't know where this one stands for, fans of the series, but yeah, this was my first look at any of them. What about you? I actually didn't even ask you if you'd seen any of them before.
I had seen some of the original VHS.
Okay.
And beyond that, I mean, found footage stuff. I see what's really funny. I'm really into documentaries and stuff like that about footage, things like that. But when it comes to these movies and films and stuff, I don't get as much into them. So found footage stuff isn't quite my jam, but I was like, you know what, we'll give it a go. So
Yeah.
now I had not checked out um, any of the other VHS ones. So when you said this one's really good, I'm like, or at least you had gotten partway through it. You hadn't even
Yeah.
finished it yet, and you were like, this one's really good. We should check it out. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. So, but and I'm interested to see, because you had gotten halfway through it. I'm interested to see how much farther. Well, of course you finished it, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, so are we taking a high level look at this? Do you want to like talk about the segments individually? I mean,
we can. Yeah, let's go ahead and break them on down. First off, we had Stork, which was about, it's a POV cam basically of some police officers going in to raid a home where we've got missing infants, babies,
yeah,
children.
yeah. This is
That,
like police body cam footage. Is how this one is presented.
yeah. And anyway, we come across the extraterrestrial or the paranormal on this one. What I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but what were your
Right.
thoughts on the first segment?
I thought this was a pretty strong start. This one felt very video gamey to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, it was straight up, like a first person shooter.
Yeah,
That's
what I was thinking while I was going.
That's
And I was
exactly
like,
how I felt about it. It was,
and I suck at first person shooters, so
yeah. So do I. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the genre. I love the Resistance series, which needs to make a comeback, but which is also about aliens. But anyway,
there you go.
Sure. No, yeah, I actually thought this was a pretty strong start. It's pretty chaotic. Also maybe mildly humorous. I don't know. Maybe that comes down to the personalities of the people involved, though. It was kind of one of those things where, like, I mean, this was like a special police unit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was depicted, and I'm like, I kind of want to see another one of their little adventures.
Yeah, you definitely have your stereotypes in this group.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah. I kind of felt the same way. I thought it was a lot like a video game when I first saw it, and or when I was going through it, and I was like, "Wow, yeah, this is like, if I had a controller in my hands, all of them would be dead." So, but yeah, I thought it was a fairly strong go of it, and at least coming out the gates, and I thought they finished this one. This one definitely made me want to go, okay, where are we going next? So that's definitely where I was at on this one. Hey, there's my doggy. Hey.
Yeah. And I know we've watched some of these in the past where it seemed like there was a connecting thread.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not really sure that's the case with this one. These felt like completely separate entities.
Yeah.
Right? Every one of these stories. So,
yep.
Yeah, it was like, I agree with you. It's like, oh, okay, this seems like a strong start. Where are we going from here?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, we didn't really go anywhere from there because the rest of the segments have nothing to do with this one. So it's...
Yeah. Speaking of next segment, the next segment was written and directed by Virat Powell. This one was called Dream Girl, which was a story about two paparazzi over in India, and they get access to a Bollywood set, and we find out that the lead actress isn't quite what she seems.
Yeah.
So this one, my dog's now deciding to play with her toys. So if you hear squeaking, it's not my chair. And if you can hear, but anyway, this one was quite the departure, like you were saying, from the first one, because I'm like, how is this? I mean, like you said, normally they have some sort of tie between the first film or the first segment and the second segment, and throughout there's a thread. This one had none of that whatsoever. Yeah. So, what were your thoughts on this second segment, Dream Girl?
I actually really liked this one. It was like you said, it was a massive departure in the sense that the first segment seemed, other than a little bit of setup at the beginning, it was pretty action all the way through. This one seems pretty normal until it doesn't, and then it's just absolute bloodshed and chaos, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a musical number in the middle that was, I mean, not bad, just like not necessarily expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is I liked this one. I like where this one went, but also every single time over this past week, when I would think about this, I would be trying to think of all the segments, remember all the segments, and think about them. This is always the one I had to keep going back and looking up because I completely forgot what this one was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I liked it, but I also just kept forgetting it. So I don't know if that speaks to the story or the memorableness. I don't know, man. I just kept forgetting it. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
This one for me, like I said, complete departure. And to me, the music part of it didn't quite throw me off since it was Bollywood. However, looking at it from a directorial standpoint, which I can't shut off in my brain of looking at production, I'm looking at it going, okay, if they're watching this live in front of them, A, how are we seeing all these different camera angles? B, they're watching this one. Never mind. Anyway, so we're seeing the end product while they're just supposed to be watching one take of it. So anyway, this is the point in the film where had I not been doing this for the podcast, I would have shut it off.
Really? Okay.
I was already like, man, okay, I'm kind of out at this point. Like as far as like, I wasn't quite digging it as much. And I was kind of like, okay, is this what we're going to get for the rest of the film? And, so, I mean, honestly, this is where I would have dropped out. If I was just casually watching, films, on Shudder, going through and just looking for something to watch.
Yeah,
I would have been done at this point. However, when it was done, I still enough was like, all right, I have a job to do. So we have to finish this thing. Which I'm glad that I did, because the next one was quite intense.
Yeah.
And if you're ready to move on and we're ready to take that leap, if you will.
Like I said, I didn't dislike this second segment. I just kept forgetting what it was. And maybe that does speak to what you were just saying about, like, I probably would have turned it off.
Yeah. I mean, and it's nothing against the writer. It's nothing against the director or anything. The story was what the story was. It's just, it was really
squeaky.
The story was just so out of place compared to what the first one was, that I was just like, it was just kind of chaotic for me.
And while this isn't the segment I was talking about that seemed out of place, I do remember thinking that maybe this isn't quite as alien as I was expecting out of the advertisements that I got from this, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we can move on, because
we'll take a leap into this next one.
The next one definitely.
This next one's called Live and Let Dive. This one was written and directed by Benjamin Turner and Justin Martinez.
Yeah.
And this is about a group of skydivers who, as soon as this came up, I texted Shane. I'm like, they're not going to live. So it's a group of skydivers. They're all up in a plane, small plane, and they're getting ready to dive for one of their friends' 30th birthdays. He doesn't
want to be there.
No, he's afraid of heights.
And all I could think was, stop letting people like guilt you into doing stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
especially when it goes out on the internet, because that never comes back down. Anyway, so they're up there on this plane, And all of a sudden you hear the pilot go, "Holy shit, what is this?" And then you see something out of the starboard side, I think they said. And then they're looking out and there's a UFO. I'm not giving anything away. There's a UFO.
Yeah.
And then it gets just completely insane.
Yeah. This is the one that I told you I texted you during, and I'm like, this is maybe my favorite POV horror that I've seen. It's at least one of the best, one of the most well done, right?
Yeah.
And it is probably the most anxiety inducing one I've ever watched.
Yeah. And that's before that's before anything really goes crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that they're going to jump out of the plane, I'm already going.
All right.
So it's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But anyway, yeah, this one gets a little crazy. The part when they are in the air, and the videography on that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And special effects on this one, they did a really, really good job.
Very impressive. Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite crazy. And once they do land, no spoilers, but once they do land, it gets even more intense. So
gets more brutal, and to me, this is the segment that had the most shock moments in it.
Yeah, I think this one I actually jumped at one scene in this, and it has to do with a pickup truck. So there was one part that did get me. So anyway, Justin Martinez and Benjamin Turner did do a great job on this one, on this segment, and I thought, it was well done. We've got the next one, which was by the Long Brothers. This one was called Fur Babies. I don't even know where to begin with this one. This is about a lady who, from the very, very beginning of this one, I'm going, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're watching a commercial during the middle of whatever's airing, and you're like, when do we go back to the film?
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, this is part of the movie. So anyway, it's a lady who owns a dog sitting, grooming, training facility,
like one of those like doggy hotel type things.
Yeah, and it's almost like an Airbnb for dogs, because it's at her house. But then you just find out this lady's just crazy.
Oh yeah.
I really don't know, without giving anything away, how else to describe it.
I don't either.
Did you ever see the movie Tusk?
I have not seen that. I'm aware of it. I have not.
If you guys have seen the movie Tusk, which starred Justin Long,
okay,
this is Tusk.
Yeah,
for dogs.
Yeah,
there you go. Basically, that's what it is.
This is the one that, to me, I think it would have been fine in any other collection, but I came into this one expecting a whole bunch of things about aliens, and I'm sorry if this is spoilery, but there's nothing alien about this, as far as I could tell. This is, you know what I did think about this one near the end of it? I was like, oh, well, this is how you do Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, right?
Wow.
That's what could have made those movies good for me.
Very Tusk-like. You need to watch Tusk.
Okay.
I think you need to check that one out, because it's just deranged. Yeah. It's a lot like this segment, just better.
Okay.
It was just...
I don't know about you. For me, and maybe it's just because it felt so out of place, even though the second segment is the one I kept forgetting about, this is actually, I think, my least favorite segment.
Yeah, no, collection. I agree.
It's I wouldn't even say it's bad. I think it's an interesting concept. It was just
It was just weirdly placed,
yeah.
and it really shouldn't have been in this film.
No, it
I'm going
shouldn't
to
have.
flat out say it. It
No.
should not have been in this film.
No, it is totally out of place in this film.
Yeah, and I think if you did not have it in here, the rest of the film would get along just fine.
Yeah. And this is another weird case where this segment is somehow too long, but also too rushed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The setup for this one is really, really long, and then
You keep saying long. Justin, Christian.
Yeah.
Long.
But then it just kind of rushes through, and I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we come up to the final segment. This one is called Stowaway. This one was, like I said, written by Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel, and also directed by Kate Siegel.
Mm-hmm. And starring Alana Pierce.
Yeah.
Who is someone I recognize, like, mostly from the gaming industry. Who, I followed her for a long time on IGN, and then I know she was with a Sony Santa Monica, maybe? I can't remember. She was with an actual game company for a while.
Huh.
And I know she left there recently. But
she did some voiceover stuff for
Cyberpunk.
Thank you. 2077. Oh, okay. And I don't know why I could not remember that. That's like one of my favorite animes, and then I'm like, I can't say words. I followed her too through puberty. Anyway, Alana Pierce starring in this one. Basically, I mean, there's a couple other people in it, but for the most part, it's just her.
Oh yeah.
This is about a young lady who is trying to document a UFO sighting or sightings of some sort out in the Mojave Desert. She's trying to film it, of course, on a VHS camera, and she ends up finding one. And
she does.
And it's everything that happens after she finds it and boards it. So anyway, I don't want to give too much away from this one, but
no,
dear Lord, the ending of that one was horrific.
This is very demented.
Because I mean, if this is how you would spend, I mean, to me, it was almost like this is how she would spend eternity. Basically. And I'm just like, oh wow. So I don't want to give anything away. To me, it was the best segment out of the whole thing.
I agree. Actually,
just for that fact alone. And Mike Flanagan, he just does magic with everything he touches too. And and same with Kate Siegel. She does great with everything she touches too. So
really great team up between those two, and then Alana Pierce was,
and they touch each other, so they make each other great. So
it was just, this was all around a great segment, and there's not much you can say other than she ends up on the ship, and the ship ends up not on Earth, and just what happens. And it's not even a very long segment. And it takes place in this it's like this pod, right? There's enough room to walk around in, right? But wow. The technology she encounters.
Yes.
Wow.
Without spoiling anything. Wow.
Very, very horrific.
Yeah.
Right? In weird ways, but also her Alana Pierce's performance in this, and like especially near the end, right, was like, wow, very, very good, and like messed up.
If I could put like fanboy like heart bubbles around you right now, I would do that. But my for some reason it was just like, you're just like Alana Pierce. But I can't do it. I can't. But, I don't have the technology.
it also doesn't help, like you said. She's basically the only character in this entire segment.
This is true.
So she carries this segment just by the sheer nature of of being the only character in it. So
I kept saying Justin Long, so
yeah,
we could have done the same thing for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, there is a kind of a storyline that goes in between each segment.
yeah.
But honestly, you could have thrown that out too, and
Yeah.
it would have just kind of been whatever.
Yeah, and the marketing for this one was almost a little weird because they kept saying like, was it 6 stories or something? I guess the 6th one is supposed to be the framing device,
I think so,
right? Which is told at the beginning and then in between each segment, and then there's like this thing at the end. And I thought it was kind of funny, like some of the one of the intermediary segments was the I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but I've watched them before, and it's this pair of guys who look at like paranormal videos and debunk them from a technological standpoint. Like, oh, this is because they do special effects work.
Yeah,
right. And I just thought it was funny.
They did the stuff for what was that? Something or other Dynamics, Boston Dynamics, didn't they? They did.
I think that was different people. I think.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think that was different. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would say that the real life people that they got to interview was actually a really clever touch for that framing device. But the framing device itself was like,
I think the framing device worked throughout each segment, but once we got to the end, it was just like pointless.
Yeah. So it was like, wait, that's what this was leading up to?
Yeah, there was really no payoff on it.
Yeah, totally agree.
But throughout it was fun to watch those little segments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, this one is airing on Shudder. You guys can check it out on there. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you guys think of this one, or if you guys have checked it out yet, or what you guys think of the VHS series, or any found footage.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Specifically, if there's any others of the VHS series that you think we should check out.
Yeah.
Even if not for the show, because like if this did do one thing, it does make me want to check out some of the other.
Yeah, because I heard 98 was great. I heard VHS 98 was a really good one. So
yeah. So and I've heard, like I said, I've heard mixed things about some of them. So if there's ones you really like, let me know because I want to check them out.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, put them down in the comments down below, and while you're there, make sure to hit like and subscribe, because why wouldn't you? I mean, it's free. Do it. But that's it for this week. We've got one more episode coming out this year until our final top 5 countdown for the year of 2024. So make sure you guys stick around for that. I have no idea what's going to be on Shane's list. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a clue what's going to be on mine. This was a varied year. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and I'm excited to see what we come up with.
I am too. And like I said on social media, I'm excited because I don't think we both have said that we don't think our lists are going to be, too much alike this year. So I'm interested to take another look at the things that you picked that I didn't. So.
Yeah, I think I truly think that we're only going to have one. I mean, both of us are going to have one in our top 5 that's the same.
Okay, cool.
So that's my prediction. So anyway, you going with the over or the under? But anyway, that's it for this week. I hope you guys stick around and check out the rest of the episodes. And while you're here, might as well click on whatever's coming up. I think it's over my face right now. This is our last episode that we put out. So check that one out. But until next time, I'm Chris Mass.
I'm Shane.
Get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys.